Sometimes when you're a toy, you just want a place that you can call your own. A place where you can chill out, relax, kick it with the homies, what have you. Well, in this episode we're going to talk about more forgotten 80s playsets and see how the other half live. So, stick around. Fellow dorks and dorkettes, and welcome to Nostalgia Syndrome. My name is Rob, and in this episode, we're going to talk about more forgotten 80s playsets. This is volume 7 in the series, and we're going to talk about a little bit more than just your humble abodes, hangouts, and headquarters. No, we're going to talk about a little bit of everything. Before we get too deep in this episode, I just want to say that recently I got a comment that really kind of put down the sound quality of my videos, and I really took it to heart and quickly deleted it because it pissed me off. But I took it to heart and I took a look back at some of my older videos, recent ones, and yeah, there's kind of a tinny quality to the sound, and I'm hoping to fix that, but it may be a slow process from video to video. So if there's anything wrong with the sound, I'll try to fix it in post as much as I can, but just know that it's a work in progress, and I hope that kind of get rid of that tinny sound like I was saying and be a little bit better. Anyway, whomever you are, thanks for the comment because it got me thinking and wanting to be better. And did you really have to give me a thumbs down and be such a dick about it? Anyway, we're here for the forgotten 80s playset, so enough of that crap, let's get to number 1. Number 1 comes from one of my favorite film franchises of all time, Indiana Jones. This toy was released by Kenner in 1983 and was part of the second wave of Raiders of the Lost Ark toys. Now this is the Streets of Cairo playset, but to be completely honest with you, to call it a playset is a pretty big stretch. In my opinion, this is more of an accessories set, but it's a playset nonetheless, so we'll talk about it. Now, why do I call it a accessory set more than a playset? Because all it comes with is all the really neat knickknacks and set pieces that were in the Streets of Cairo portion of the Raiders of the Lost Ark movie. Now, what was in the box? Well, you got the Monkey Man, as they call him. That's the dude with the eye patch that tried to poison Indy with the dates. You get his monkey, which accidentally ate said poison dates. You get a cart. You get various baskets and a Crouching Marion figure, so you can recreate that scene where Indy stuffs her into a basket and she actually gets kidnapped, but he thinks she blew up. And you get various fruits and vegetables and things like that to have a vendor stand. I mean, a playset like this, or accessories pack as I'll call it, can fit almost anything. I mean, you could set up a little street scene and smash vehicles through it and recreate like Starsky and Hutch, you know, and smashing fruit stands and stuff. I mean, you could do that. It could be just a foreign locale for your G.I. Joe figures to hang out in. Heck, it could be part of the Mos Eisley scene for your Star Wars figures. This is a catch-all accessory pack playset that I think is really awesome. And just, I see potential for hours of playtime with it in a, you know, toy multiverse, playtime universe, whatever you want to call it. Now, I didn't have any of the Indiana Jones figures growing up, but I wanted them so bad. I mean, they were awesome. It was a movie that I loved, and it was made by Kenner, who honestly couldn't do any wrong in the early 80s. For this one, we will be going from the sandy streets of Cairo to the farthest reaches of the galaxy. This is Thruster, released in the GoBots toy line from Tonka in 1985. This is truly an awesome all-in-one playset. First, you get a really nice sized spaceship that looks really nice, honestly. Second, you get a tower fortress for your renegades to call home. And it comes with really neat things like a throne for Psykill and multiple layers for your renegade GoBots to hang out on. And innovative for the time, it has a motion detection alarm for, those pesky good GoBots that happen to be creeping around your home. The third thing that this playset offers is it turns into a giant freaking robot itself. Hence the name Thruster. This dude's name is Thruster, and yeah, it's very limited, but really cool at the same time. That's definitely one of the things that GoBots offered that you need to give them props for, but hardly anybody does. That they had these really big playset / robots, and they had really neat things like cap guns, water guns, and the like. So GoBots was truly innovative and had a really nice price point compared to Hasbro's Transformers. Anyway, yeah, I'm a big fan of this toy. I'm a big fan of GoBots in general. So let's take a look at the original commercial that aired when this came out in 1985.
This is Thruster, Psykill's Renegade GoBot headquarters. Your parents put it together, 4 AA batteries not included.
It's Psykill!
GoBots sold separately, Thruster can even catch moving GoBots.
I will stop until every guardian is captured. Neither one will stand this. Neither will you, Scooter.
Thruster, Renegade GoBot headquarters. Psykill and Scooter each sold separately. New from Tonka.
For this next entry on the list, I am not even going to front. I ain't going to pretend to be a tough guy, and I will admit that I loved this Saturday morning cartoon. And that cartoon was Shirt Tales. Now the playset was the Shirt Tales Treehouse playset. Yes, a very simple name that got right to the point. It was released by LJN in 1982. And around this time period, Kenner released an awesome Treehouse playset that they slapped different names on a couple different times. Now, unfortunately, this Treehouse doesn't compare to that one, but it's pretty cool in its own right. Now, the figures that were made to go into this Treehouse playset were the little Shirt Tales PVC figures. So, it didn't offer a lot of playability, but very neat display area. I mean, you can still have tons of fun with PVC figures, so don't get me wrong. But, like I mentioned, this doesn't have the same bells and whistles that the Kenner Treehouse offered, but it's really cool nonetheless, because there are a lot of callbacks to the cartoon. Like, it comes with a little computer device that the Shirt Tales would communicate with the Chief through. It has a little hole in the ground that you could put Digger in. It had a little, swing in the top for Bogey to chill out in. And it also comes with a piano and what looks to be a radio, perhaps? But of course, the biggest feature that it offered was a handle. The top of the tree, has a little cutout in it for a little kid's hands to hold it and carry it around and have some Shirt Tail adventures anywhere that they went. Like I said, I was a huge fan of the cartoon, and when I still had Boomerang, when I had cable, I would watch the reruns all the time. I mean, there's just something timeless and pure and beautiful about the Shirt Tales and cartoons like that. Our next playset is another one that offers multiple ways to have awesome adventures, and that is the Blazing Eagle for the Battle Beast toy line released by Hasbro in 1987. Now, the Blazing Eagle, I really struggled with it because it is a vehicle, so it could have easily fit in the raddest rides of the 80s lists. And it's a pretty awesome playset, so it definitely fits in that category as well. So I chose playsets, and the reason is this awesome Red Eagle vehicle, which has room for one battle beast at the top in a little cockpit of sorts, transforms into a fire elemental playset. Now, first things first, this came with a little deer guy with an awesome Cyclops type of visor and a batleth type of weapon. It also included a double-barreled cannon at the top that you could put a battle beast at to man, and it came with another cannon down at the Eagle's talons for another battle beast to man. So you have two awesome turrets, if you will, and it also came with a little weapons locker, so you could put those really awesome but very tiny battle beast weapons in it. So yeah, if I would have had this as a kid, maybe I wouldn't have lost all the awesome weapons for all my battle beast figures. But anyway, this Red Eagle has really neat fire elemental motifs and stickers on the inside, and fits the whole fire elemental aesthetic perfectly. And what better way to go into combat than on a flaming Red Eagle that quickly transforms into a headquarters with major cannons to start gunning down those elemental oppositions that are standing in your way. The last entry on the list comes from one of my personal favorite toy lines. A toy line that doesn't really get a lot of attention. There's a toy line that surprisingly came and went very quickly, and what few figures I was able to get I found at our discount closeout store in town. The toy line is Marvel's Secret Wars, put out by Mattel in 1984. The playset is the Freedom Fighter. Now, the Freedom Fighter is less headquarters and more battle platform. It has, firstly, a large helipad that is emblazoned with Captain America's shield on it. And not to give any spoilers away, we will be talking about in an upcoming Raddest Rides of the 80s, Captain America's helicopter that goes perfectly with this playset. It also offers two turrets. One, a laser turret. Second is a satellite dish turret. So I don't know if that's to communicate to the other heroes out on the field, to pick up your favorite satellite TV show, or to do sonic attacks like Ulysses' Claw. Either way, that's pretty cool. It also says it has a secret compartment, which I assume is in the base of this battle platform. Like I said, this is more of a battle platform than an honest-to-goodness headquarters, but it's pretty cool. And if you were lucky enough to get the Captain America helicopter, like I said, it goes perfectly with it. So that would be a really nice, play set with the helicopter in your living room that, you could play with your Secret Wars figures, and heck, even anyone else that wanted to come along, Star Wars, G.I. Joe, whomever. This has just been a quick look at 5 forgotten 80s playsets. Like I said, this is volume 7 in the series, and if you want, check out the 6 previous episodes to see what other awesome playsets we talked about. Now, the playset seems to be a lost art form. There are no action figure playsets made nowadays, or if they are, they're quite pricey and specialized to the collector's market. But back in the day, it seemed like anybody that wanted a fighting chance on the market released a ton of vehicles, a playset, and a lot of action figures. And I think nowadays the only thing that's kind of comparable to what we experienced growing up is the Fisher-Price Imaginext toy line. There are dozens of awesome playsets for these little neat figures. I mean, I don't know honestly how regularly they're being made nowadays, but when my kids were really small, like I said, there were dozens of really awesome ones. I mean, they had Mummy's Tombs and the Bat Cave, pirate ships and just really awesome play sets. And like I said, it seems to be a art form that is lost nowadays. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you got something to say, please leave a comment. I love reading them, and I love getting back to everybody. And sometimes when you leave a pretty persuasive comment, it will make me change how I do things. But anyway, if you like this episode or any of the ones that YouTube is recommending down here, please hit subscribe. And if you hit that little bell icon, you will be notified whenever there's a new episode. So anyway, until next time, thanks for watching. Keep being rad and stay dorky.